Hey, welcome to session 6 of my journey through Oxygen Not Included. Now, a few more interesting comments on the next one. Someone made the comment that these guys are making the dirty oxygen. They also remove some carbon dioxide. I'm not sure that they will, so it's a bit of give and take that they are producing some dirty oxygen, but they're also getting rid of some of that carbon dioxide for me. Definitely makes that a trickier decision on what to do. Now my researches have stopped, but someone did say that if I was looking for something, firstly I could search in here, just over here. So for example, if I wrote in comfy bed, I guess even just bed, it would help me locate it. And I assume it's one of the things I'm looking at right now, but it's medicine. So it's telling me it's actually in decor. Great. Okay, it's grayed out, so cool. That's a comfy bed. So if I want a comfy bed, that's where I've got to go to, and that's the path I've got to get. So neat. Now, that does ask the question of how important is a comfy bed then if it's coming under the decor section, because everything before it doesn't seem that overly handy. But let's do it anyway. Let's have a look at what we got coming in. He does not seem overly handy. Let's just take an omelette or whatever it is. Now, let's also have a look a bit more into exploring, I think. Now this room here is, I guess, the one that I've been really fascinated by for a long time, because it's actually got something in it. So I suppose what we could do is build a ladder that runs from here and goes all the way to there. And what they'll do is they'll dig out that path and get me up there. Get me at least a few of those tiny nymphs, which I guess now actually have it in a separated bedrooms. They won't be so mad about those guys flying around like what we had when we started off and one of them was bugging someone who was trying to sleep. Crafting station. Can make some oxygen masks. Now, there's nothing that's really saying that the difference between those two is. So let's have a look at what we've got more of. Copper. So let's make 6 copper masks. That upgrade is already done. So let's go straight into the next one. She is not looking too good. Let's have a look at the battle sale. He's just got a little bit of food poisoning. So is that positives to negatives? Yeah, okay. I do wonder about these, my batteries still. So it would be nice if someone sort of tried to keep those batteries all the way up until bedtime. I mean, at the moment, like, it does seem like they are surviving overnight with the current load on the electricity. So that's alright at least. Now, I guess we can actually give them a schedule. That's what this is saying. So I could actually say, alright, if you're going to, if this is your downtime, then I want you doing electricity for this period. It's interesting as well that I could also then cycle guys overnight. So someone, like say Stinky worked overnight, and so like he could keep the power running. Interesting. I'll have to consider what things I could take advantage of with the schedule. I mean, all those lights would cost power. And I don't really feel like I've seen anyone complain about there not being light at the moment. Classifies an area as a park or a nature reserve. I'm just having a look to see if there's anything that I can do to filter out air. Converts water into oxygen and hydrogen. And that seems like that would be quite handy, especially over my algae ones. Is hydrogen bad? Is that the one that explodes? Is that helium? It's hydrogen, right? Which one was the Lindenberg filled with hydrogen? That's my only reference point for which did what. So let's have a look at our overlay of oxygen. You know, we're looking quite good. This is doing its job very well. So we're keeping it sort of all out of, and so is this. Keeping it all sort of out of our way. And that room, that's just barely breathable oxygen. That's probably fine. I'm doing something wrong with my plants back here. It's the temperature they don't like. That, yeah, alright, so what do I... So again, I've just sort of majorly increases decor, ice block. Telescope to unlock this menu. Slowly working our way up here. Eagerly wait to see what's up there once we get there. Trying to keep an eye on my water levels as well to see if they do go down. Assuming they do. I mean, that's certainly gone down. This one. I wonder what to do for this one because he's almost sitting at the highest point. So once this goes below there, he's not going to capture that water anymore. I mean, potentially what I need to do is just knock out all of this so that it's flat and he will continue to work it out. So let's start off by just digging out those 4 squares. 5 squares. Imagine going sort of over that way is going to be quite tricky for a deer. Here comes a healthy looking Ellie. Straight on the task, Ellie. Good job. And yeah, we could probably leave that for now. Sure. giving us a bit more time with that water. Stinky's getting right to this ladder building. Stinky is allowed to eat omelette. So that's an interesting one as well to note, that I can remove. Well, since we've now got some lice, it's be exciting to give them something else to eat. I don't know how many we can actually justify making. That's from the amount of lice we have. Is this lice? That's Melwood. That's lice. Not even sure. It's the other one, right? The other plant I've got that I'm not sure if I've got sitting anywhere. Crop 7 of 11 is my crops. Just saying that those other 3 crops are just wrong. Also impressed that these people only have 1% stress. That's a very, very positive outlook they have for their situation. You've got to admire them for it. Alright, let's have a look at skills, because I'm sure I've been neglecting this for a while. Alright, Ellie, you can be a super digger. Hassan, yeah, we'll improve your farming. Now, I can see that I can add, sort of like I can just keep adding pluses to some of these things, but it doesn't, I don't see what the point would be, unless I assume it makes it go up again, but does that mean that she will continue to increase the quality of the food that she's making in those situations? So for now what I'll do is I'll just give her, say, an improvement down the bottom there, because they don't seem like the masteries like these top ones. Although except for that medicine, the doctoring one, so I'll make him a professional doctor. Thingy, we'll make you our construction man, and you can get into some astronomy there, Travaldo. So one question I guess I have, just out of curiosity in the way that you build. So I'm sitting here with 6 people and pretty content to try and... But they seem to get around all the amount of, the speed that I issue tasks. These guys seem to be right to sort of get to them. What's the most people you've had in your community? What sort of numbers are we getting up to here? I mean, this map does seem pretty extensive, so it does feel like you could get into the... what would I guess? 50? 40? Is that too many? If we're looking at vitals, it doesn't feel like that would roll too far, would it? Surely if you went too hard too fast, you'd crash and burn. Now this is an interesting development over here too. We'll have to continue exploring, I'd say, once we're into this computer room. What are you saying? Now that actually does have... No, it's still awaiting delivery. They don't have the suit, it's just the masks. Okay, cool. The laws of thermodynamics. Energy can neither be created or destroyed, only change forms. Whoosh. They're going way over my head. Alright, let's inspect the other one. For the facility, it's introducing this new security system that scans your hand to unlock doors. My question is, what exactly are they scanning? The folks in engineering say that a door device doesn't look like a fingerprint scanner, but the duo working over in bioengineering won't comment at all. Can't say that I like it. I am not a bioengineer, but I work with bioengineers. So if we start talking about bioengineering, we're a bit more on my page than the physics. Not significantly more, but at least I know someone I can ask about bioengineering. It's a really neat system that this game has. What I really am sort of like enjoying, or like appreciating as a different to what I'd see in a lot of games, is that anything has a consequence. If you want oxygen, then they're going to breathe out negative air, and that reinforcement of putting more oxygen into the atmosphere doesn't solve the problem of that or air that's now out there. You actually have to address it. That when you sort of clean up sludge, you're not just magically making it disappear. It has to go somewhere. It's going to sit in a little puddle of polluted water. And I think that's really neat. Like, in terms of, like, say, your easygoing casual gameness, it's definitely not in that category. But very very cool as a unique take on the survival game style. I say unique, but I'm sure there must be other games like this. Alright, let's do it. Let's get our comfy beds. Now, we've got a complaint over here. While they're sleeping, let's have a look at what else we've carpeted tile. Contributes to morale. As long as it doesn't get wet, I suppose. Insulated gas pipe. Carries gas with minimal change in temperature. Now that just really like sort of throws another curveball in there to suggest that the temperature of the gas is going to be a factor. Who made a mess? Rowan? Alright, so we've got to do our mop liquid spills. Guess we can just do a general sort of area. Now, who's this dude? What's he up to? So the wrangling does sound interesting, but I'd assume that means that I should have someone who is a wrangler. Is that an actual thing? River ranching. Who was my farmer? Son? Maybe his son will be my wrangler. I feel that having this extra light guys floating around is increasing the light in a positive way as well. Textile worm. Now, is it possibly that these guys are too far away? Body temperature. Sick bay feels like something that I should have as well. Sneak that in there. Tasteful memorial. Does feel like something that would probably be nice to have somewhere. So we can put that down here. That's not gonna be useful otherwise. It's a lot of things. Now, probably having a shower wouldn't be a bad thing. Now, I can tell we're consuming a lot more oxygen than what we're producing, and I assume that's because of all the dirty oxygen around that they're breathing. Breathing more. Quick learner, interior decor, increase husbandry. All hands, iron gut, irritable bowel. Iron gut, germ resistant, allergic to floral scent. Now the 2 of the 3 of those sound really good. But stick with our 6 people. Oh, someone's zipping around. What did you eat? Someone's bouncing off the walls. Insufficient resources, doctor station, medical supplies. Is that something that I can make? Medical building outside hospital. Alright, so I assume that I've got to have an actual hospital. Medical equipment, toilet, mess table, no industrial machinery. It's a sick bay. So the sick bay isn't in the hospital. Alright. I did enjoy this dig that way, so let's go. Wouldn't mind just maybe continuing our ladder up. Gotta give them something to do. Get more wash bars going. Does seem like we're low on food. There's a lot of bottles around as well. What do I need to do to pick up my bottles? Wasn't the mob? That moved debris to storage? Is that what it was? got this guy done, so pick a new research. I'll try and just go the thing that's lowest that we haven't yet done. It's not going to be this one. Okay. So what we'll do is we will deconstruct Stinky's bed. Oh, we don't have plastic. Cancel that. Rowan is all but too eager to get rid of Stinky's bed. There's some beef there. Rivaldo, what are you doing down there? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing that right, what I'm doing with the bottles. I think I'm putting them in the wrong spot. I mean, I thought this guy just had the... Or is he where they're going to deliver them to? Yeah, good. Here's where they're going to deliver them to. I'm going to go uproot that weird plant that's living down there for some reason. Now, do I have to give the order for these guys to get harvested, or will they figure that out themselves? Okay. What we got in terms of air filter. Let's try filter. Yeah. Already got that. Filter gate. Gas filter. Right, so I've already got it. Solid filter. Let's go back to relation. Gas filter. There's one gas from the air, sending it into a dedicated pipe. I mean, that filters it out of the air, but then can I do anything with it? Can I clean it? It's becoming alarming. It's it doesn't look too bad though. I mean, this is definitely higher than it was before though, I think. That is at least. No, we probably need to get a bit more detail into what we're doing here, since we can see, like, it's at least handy enough to tell you, well, this is who's best at any one thing. We can probably just give the initiative of these. We'll make Rowan less Stinky's our builder, so we'll just, yeah, he's more just playing in support of these two guys. Anyone who's sort of pink on anything will let them take the reins. Colony achievement. What do we do? Cure a sick duplicate of disease. Oh, it's a admirable thing we've achieved. Well done. Who was sick? Now, this is definitely something that I've got to work out. Sufficient resources, doctor station, medical supplies, 1,000 grams. It feels like this polluted water slowly gets less. I don't know, it just... When they pour stuff in there, it looks like it goes, like, huge chunk. And I feel like it hasn't really done much. Interestingly, you could feel that if you really wanted to go into insane detail, it could filter through the sand and then end up in my actual drinking water, which would not be ideal. What would be ideal, though, is if I cut through here and then dropped that so I could actually get this water into my water supply. I mean, I was going to say there's no harm in cutting this way, but that is all sand, so that would collapse away. But that top rock wouldn't. We could go... What would happen if we just sort of let it pour out? It should just roll downhill in there, right? I don't think I need to cut a hole down because I think it'll just sort of leak its way through there, and as long as it doesn't go through anything nasty, which it shouldn't because the only stuff down there is already bottled up. I guess we'll find out in a moment. You okay there, Stinky? Yeah, it seems to be getting where we want it. Ish. Slow drip. Okay, so plastics was what we needed in order to get our beds. Plastic manufacturing. Turn petroleum into raw plastic. Well, let's get that going. Petroleum. Let's find out if we've got petroleum generator. Converts either petroleum. That's just a. So is petroleum just something that I have? No. So something must help me make petroleum then, right? An engine, a petroleum engine would assumably burns petroleum. It's alright, I'll try and suss that one out. Maybe next time. So today will be our last day. We'll call it at the start of cycle 38. So I think that that's where I'm sort of at now. Is I think that essentially what I have here is my foundation stone of the town. That we've got our oxygen, we've got our bedrooms, we've got a sort of plants going. I guess I do chop them down because I can see that those are sort of new life. So now we want to start looking at what can we do to improve it. Like, let's start looking into making new things, plastics or petroleum or whatnot. Yeah, I'm still not certain that petroleum is something that I just don't find. Petroleum would be oil. So, I mean, possibly we would need... what do you refine oil to get to petroleum? So can I have an oil refinery? Oil well. That's crude oil into petroleum. I found it. Aha, look at that. Alright, now, fingers crossed I just remember that through to the next time that I play. There we go. From me and this little guy here. So thanks for watching. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.